There is a place in Seoul where everything feels elevated, where every building looks like it was designed to be remembered, and every street feels curated. This is Cheongdam-dong, not just a neighborhood, but one of the most refined fashion districts in South Korea. Often compared to Beverly Hills or Rodeo Drive, but with something different, more restrained, more intentional, more precise. And today we are here for one reason: to understand how fashion expresses itself here, and more specifically, where silk scarves fit into this world. We started walking through the streets of Cheongdam, and we have seen flagship stores and architectural landmarks, quiet storefronts that feel more like galleries than shops. And something quickly becomes clear. Luxury here doesn't shout, it whispers. Inside the first boutique, everything felt deliberate. Minimal, refined, elevated, and then the scarves. 100% in silk, soft, fluid, unmistakably premium. Then, a second boutique, a completely different direction. Lace scarves, made from synthetic materials, visually appealing at first glance, with a different feel and finish compared to the silk. And in that moment, a pattern begins to emerge. Then we stepped into something even more interesting, a multi-brand store. And this is where things shift. No mainstream brands, no obvious names. Instead, a rotating selection of niche European designers. At the time of our visit, a focus on designers was for Kiko Kostadinov. But what really defines the space isn't just the brands, it's the approach. Exclusivity, constant rotation, limited selection. You don't come here to browse, you come here to discover and to find something rare. And then, just a few streets away, the global houses, Burberry, Ferragamo, Hermes, recognizable, established, influential. And yes, scarves are present, but mostly as complementary pieces, part of a broader offering, not necessarily the center focus. And that's when the real insight starts to take shape, not in a single store, but in the contrast between them. From this visit, the market appears polarized. On one side, global fashion, luxury houses with heritage and full collections. On the other side, it's more accessible products, often synthetic, with less emphasis on brand storytelling. And in between, there seems to be space. There are relatively few independent brands positioning scarves as a standalone premium category, at least from what we observed until now during this exploration and during these first days, which actually opens an interesting perspective, because Cheongdam-dong reveals something important. This is not a market that rejects luxury. Quite the opposite. It embraces it. But it also responds to meaning, design, story, and identity. And this is where RALUFINEART enters the conversation, not as another accessory brand, not as an alternative to luxury, but as a different expression of it. This visit suggests something powerful. Scarves are not always positioned as a standalone category here, which means there is space. Not below luxury, no outside of it, but within it, waiting to be redefined. This is just day 6, but sometimes one day is enough to notice a pattern. And once you see it, you can't ignore it. The question now is simple, not if there is an opportunity, but who will define it. If you want to follow our journey, turn on notifications and subscribe to RALUFINEART channel to follow the story. Here is Ralu, founder of RALUFINEART, signing out.